All right. What's going on, y'all? I am super excited today because I got a brand new figure in. And as mentioned on the 1/6 Scale Man show, as mentioned on the Man of Hot Collectibles live stream as well, we have the Iron Patriot from the Marvel Avengers Endgame. And I'm super pumped. And if you're super pumped and you liked what you saw in the intro, hang out because you'll definitely be seeing more of that later on. And I mean, honestly, if you like the intro, don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Obviously, that all of those things help us. Commenting, subscribing, all of that helps. Now, getting straight into the Avengers Endgame Iron Patriot here. The box here, it has a really beautiful shine, as you can see. There isn't much texture on it, though. We do have this very subtle shine in the logo and on the nameplate there, but other than that, we don't have much texture. For those of you who do happen to have the War Machine Punisher, that figure had a lot of rugged texture and metallics and things going on like that. Not this one. You just have that very beautiful shine, again, as you can see on the front there. I definitely wanted to pick this figure up because I started wanting to create this Iron Man-like display. So I do have Rescue, I have the Clean Mark 85. That shelf is going to look incredible together. So going back to the box here, on the side, we do have that beautiful Iron Patriot nameplate. We have that beautiful shine on the Avengers logo, as well as Rhodey's logo. Beautiful shine. And here on the back as well, we sort of got that beautiful starry, galaxy-like print going on in the back. And again, the credits, that beautiful shine. Beautiful. And then here on the side, as you can see, we have Rhodey's logo with that really nice engraved, embossed sort of situation going on there. This is an indicator for you to know that there's a whole nother tray there. I'm glad that they put that because some people just sort of take things out and all willy-nilly and they don't actually realize that there's a tray. So I like that they added that identifier there. Underneath, we have the Avengers logo. And on top, we have that Iron Patriot name. Now, let's go ahead and let's get into this, man, because I'm super excited. If I haven't mentioned already, this is MMS 547 D34 1/6 scale collectible figure, Iron Patriot. Let's break this bad boy open. So that is a pull-out sleeve box, so it just comes straight out of the side. And before we actually break into it, I wanted to show you that we do have that beautiful Iron Patriot name engraved in the front there. Really cool. It sort of gives it its own sarcophagus style, or like it to me looks almost die cast, but it's not. This is styrofoam, but it gives that appeal, that look to it. So let's go ahead and take that off. Look at that. Alrighty, look at this guy. I've not pulled this out at all just yet. There we go. So better to pull it out this way versus trying to reach for one of the components. Very helpful, very useful. Whoa, look at that. He's massive. Here we go. Let's get that reveal. It doesn't come with the portrait attached to it, but my goodness, he's heavy too. Wow. That is a gorgeous figure. So, enough talking. I'm ready to get to the review. I know why you all are here. We know why you're here. Let's go ahead and let's get to the review, shall we? Alright, to begin, we have a pair of fists pre-equipped on the figure out of the box. While I personally didn't use the light up portion for this segment due to the batteries dying out fast, they do in fact light up from the palm. Not to mention, it does look a lot better having these equipped when using the forearm attachments during an action pose. Next, we have the open palm blasting hands. We can halfway achieve this look with the articulated hands, but it wouldn't look as good without having these. These are great for action posing and appearing to take flight if you're able to make that happen in your collection. Moving on to the articulated pair of hands, these can do whatever your heart desire. However, the one finger with a swivel is in the thumb. It's not going to appear 100% lifelike as if you held your hand down to the side, but it is machined, so there's that. Alright, so I'm a little surprised with the base design for such an expensive piece. We have a basic name print on the front of a bland baseball diamond base with the usual gloss and the texture on top. It's just, we notice at this point, man. We also have a unique style stand pole with an interesting curve. No waist clamps here though. Moving on to the overwhelming part of the figure. Whatever you see equipped on one side of the figure, you will actually have accessories for the other side as well. The manual does an okay job at explaining how to attach some of the pieces. It's sort of up to you and how you would like for your Iron Patriot to appear in your collection. Me personally, I like the consolidated appearance with the forearm rockets and the smaller side cannons when he's in action. As mentioned earlier, the pair of fists look so much better when having everything equipped. Or you can use the palm blasting hands and not use the upper and lower forearm rockets. We also have a magnetized back portion to the Iron Patriot for a couple external pieces if you'd like to store them. To start, we have a pair of double-sided magnetized risers for the lower arm artillery to give them a little bit more elevation on the back. To connect the artillery, simply magnetize them. We can also store these shoulder rockets here as they're magnetic too. I prefer this look over the artillery storage because of how seamless the exhausts appear on the back of the thigh to the back. There are a few removable pieces on the back of the Iron Patriot. We're going to start with the heavy cannon mount. This piece isn't too heavy, but make sure you secure the attachment so that it doesn't fall out. When mounted, it adds so much more shelf presence to the piece. However, keep in mind none of the attachments are die cast. They're all plastic and painted to appear as metal. There's a lot of detail in this particular weapon as well as the moving parts. To start, we have very subtle movement in the pistons for height adjustment. And we also have lateral motion for slight variations to posing. If you wanted to, you could keep the heavy cannon attached and still feel the shelf presence from this piece. Now this is a personal preference of course, but I wanted you all to see it solo without the launchers equipped. Speaking of, mounting these aren't difficult. They slide right in and you're ready to go. There are moving pieces to this pair and it's up to you to decide the appearance of your launchers. I'd suggest equipping the rocket launchers onto the mech piece without the figure though. There's a lot of friction when putting them on and you don't want to harm your piece. After that, you're all set. There are moving flaps for rockets to appear however you want. If you don't want them showing, you don't have to. Let's face it though, we're showing the rockets if they're mounted. There's also detailing behind the launchers for those of you who might be interested. And with everything mounted up, the Iron Patriot won't ask for no attention. He's requiring it. Alright, so the Iron Patriot helmet is a little bit different from what we've seen on the War Machine. I personally like this appearance as it feels Transformer-like. We do have a limited range of motion in the helmet, so don't expect him to look up much without adjusting his body to compensate. The battery compartment is hidden underneath the plate on the helmet, which appears seamless from this angle. If you've had Iron Man pieces in the past before, you know exactly how this works. Overall, the colors and the build quality match the rest of the figure in my opinion, and even better, when it's lit up, I just wish the batteries last longer, that's all. Alright, man, we finally have a fully sculpted portrait of Don Cheadle, everyone. And man, oh man, this portrait is a 10 out of 10. From the subtle scarring on the side of his eye to the furrowed brow, even the creases on the side of his mouth. Come on, man. This portrait is phenomenal. Whatever your lighting conditions are, you'll see the craftsmanship that it took to create this. I personally recommend moody lighting though to really appreciate what you have. The haircut is spot on, the skin tone, the skin texture, just man oh man. I really genuinely can't say anything bad about it, but there is one small issue that I'll bring up in the next section, so hang tight. Alrighty, starting with the feet first, it isn't what we normally see from Rhodes and the War Machine. I do like the way that they look, and they also articulate very well while holding up the figure with no issues. The feet are also better than War Machine Punisher in my opinion. Moving on up, we have ratcheting die-cast knees, which also reveal more detail, namely the pistons in the kneecap. In the upper thigh, we have a drop that'll allow for more posability with moving components so that we don't chip the paint. There's also a spring plate in the butt flap, which gives us a little wiggle room for more posing as well. Next, we have the upper section, which is similar to all of the other Iron Man releases. We have an extension in the midsection with moving components, namely the danger plates and the lower plate for better range of motion. As mentioned earlier, we also have removable pieces on the back of the figure as well. Now, if you've owned an Iron Man piece before, you're familiar with the bicep plate adjusting to the arm posing, and this figure is no different. As mentioned in the knee portion of the video, pistons are revealed in the elbow, and we also have 2 layers that will adjust for a seamless appearance. Alright, so lastly, the upper region, it feels very congested, and you run the risk of messing up the back of the portrait if you aren't careful. The protruding red bits behind the head are probably the biggest issue with this piece for me, so be very careful with this part. To start, we have Endgame Thanos. We also have Endgame Captain America, the Infinity War Iron Spider, as well as the Endgame Mark 85 Iron Man. We also have Punisher War Machine, and last but not least, Endgame Rescue. All right, now the fun part. Firstly, I want to apologize. I went to the doctor and everything, and it took me a minute to get this video out to you all. So I also had at least 10 extra minutes of footage. I was about to make a movie, man. I was ready. I had 10 whole minutes of B-roll, and I had to cut it down drastically. So I hope you all like the cinematic portion here. So cutting straight to it, I really only had 2 issues with this figure, and it's the base and the portrait helmet area of the figure. With this being the definitive version of Iron Patriot, at least from Endgame, I would have wanted a better base. The baseball diamond just, I don't know, man, this feels cheap to me. Outside of that, I feel like the red protruding pieces I mentioned earlier could have probably been magnetic or something to keep us from possibly messing up that portrait, or at least the back of it. Other than those few issues, I really genuinely do love this figure. The shelf presence is there when he's in an action pose, and honestly even when he's not, but you don't want to skip out on that action pose. This isn't a piece you don't want to miss out on if you're on the fence, but let's face it, Hot Toys Marvel figures genuinely are plentiful. So you got quite a while. It's either this or the Endgame War Machine. It's kind of up to you. I was on the fence for a while, man. The Endgame War Machine looks really, really good. However, with that said, though, I am giving this figure a solid 9 out of 10. And dang, I haven't had this much fun posing a figure in a long time. It's also given me a reason to really love my Punisher War Machine, which honestly, at first I didn't. With that said, I'm giving this figure a solid 9 out of 10. If you liked today's video and if you enjoyed the cinematics, don't forget to like and subscribe. Obviously, that helps us, man. We growing. We on our way to 1K. We got it this year. We have more videos on the way that you won't want to miss. This is Jonathan with Boston Collectors, and thank you so much for watching.